Welcome back to another episode of the FTL podcast. This is episode I Forget, and it is of the week of Saturday, March 28th, 2026. And today I have my lovely co host, the guitar gopher of Minnesota, the Lake Superior Sasquatch, the man who is too cool to play a gem, the one, the only, the Ubie. What's going on, Ubie?
Gopher. I like that. It gives me Caddyshack vibes. I really appreciate that. And I am not too cool to play a gem. As a matter of fact, I'm not cool enough to play a gem. Apparently, that's why I didn't win it. Brian's not in chat, so I will save that rant for later. Yeah. Move is going. As you can see, there are significantly less guitars behind me. That used to be a full rack. Now there's exactly two. Yeah, so we'll be finishing up here, doing some more storage stuff, and then getting our last night here in Des Moines tonight and tomorrow. We will make the drive up to sunny and balmy and beautiful Morris, Minnesota. I'm legally and contractually obligated to say that because of the tourism coordinator will skewer me if I don't.
Yes, as everybody knows, or may not know, Brandy is the tourism coordinator of that wonderful little town. Morse? I don't know. I say Gopher because Morse code, like Morse code.
Sure.
I say Gopher because that's Minnesota is the Gophers, the land of the Gophers. So
Golden Gophers.
and I for some reason I thought is Bucky's from Minnesota or is that from Texas?
Bucky's? Bucky's is a Texas thing, but
Then why is it a gopher? Shouldn't it be a gopher? Should it be like
it's
an
a beaver.
armadillo?
It's not a gopher.
Oh, okay.
It's a beaver, dude.
What's the difference? I don't know.
Dude,
All right.
come on, man. Go.
I don't
to
think
the
this
zoo.
is the
Learn some animals.
Yeah, we'll learn zoos.
Some animals.
I have my opinion. Speaking of, we have our wonderful pseudo co-host. You're a permanent guy here, Jeremy. You were out last week for or a couple weeks ago for a wonderful cause there. So we do have Jeremy Lara in the stream, known as Strings and Pucks on YouTube. What's going on, Jeremy?
Not much, man. I'm just trying to figure out the difference between a gopher and a beaver. I need
I
one of
don't
those
know.
speak and says.
I
The
don't know.
gopher goes moo.
See and say, yeah.
Yeah.
The difference is one of them digs a hole and the other one builds a dam. That's the difference.
Is that the only difference?
Basically.
Okay, well, I wasn't that far off, Ted. Speaking of Ted, we do have Ted from Ted Talks Guitars and Life. It's wonderful to have you here with us, Ted. What's going on with you, my friend?
Not much. It's Saturday morning. I did copacetically have a soft pretzel for breakfast, so everything is copacetic-like.
What's your preferred brand of soft pretzel?
Whatever Jeremy sends them.
Whatever Jeremy sends me. From the pretzel company is where these came from. And they are much better than Auntie Annie's frozen pretzels. I can say that.
Okay, I mean, I grew up on the super pretzels, and my son picked out Aunt Annie's or whatever it's called, and I have some of those in my freezer. It's okay,
Yeah, they're really good at the airport when you're trying to catch a flight, and you get one really fresh. But the frozen ones, they're kind of small and all wrinkly like. I don't know.
Yeah, you have to put water on them and then pour the salt on them, and you make a mess with the salt, and then you'll have to throw salts over your shoulder if you're one of those type of people, for good luck. Is it your
I
left
think
shoulder?
the super pretzel people are big hockey money people. Like, aren't they out of Philadelphia too? They put a ton of money into hockey stuff.
The interesting about that is Philadelphia. That whole area that's where the big pretzels come from. Well, maybe they came from Germany, but pretzels are really big around that area, the Pennsylvania area, because there's a
That's
big
where
German
Ted's came
culture.
from.
Because of the Germans from that area.
Exactly.
Actually. So you're correct.
A lot of
U-boats and pretzels. Nice.
Mennonites. They got smorgasbord. There's a gigantic smorgasbord up there, and the funny thing is, if you look at pictures of that smorgasbord up there, and it's close to Malvern, Pennsylvania, Philadelphia area, you can see they bus in people from the old folks home, and they just go in. So if you look in the parking lot on Google Earth or Maps or whatever, and on Street View, you'll see those buses of old people's homes. They go over there and let's go get some man. I want to go there. Have some of that. They have
So basically, they bust in half of this this podcast. Is what you're trying to say?
I was trying not to say it. 2/3 or 3/4.
I'm 55 years old, so
I'm a
look, we got a bunch of
cinquagenarian.
rentals. So before we move on, I just want to acknowledge some people that are here in the chat with us. We got Brant in the chat. Let me just start from the beginning here. Riffs and reviews and mods. We have him in the house. Guitar Bob, Brandy, of course, the wonderful Brandy, the tourism coordinator of Morse, Minnesota. Who else do we got here? We got Will. What's going on, Will? How's it going? Nice to see you here. Sean, all the way from the West Coast. It's got to be like so early for him. Thank you for showing up, Sean. So here's the problem with Sean's stream is that it's on way too late for me. I'm usually in bed by the time that thing starts because I'm an old man. I'm 56.
I was watching it last night, and because I happened to be up, and I watched for about an hour, and of that hour, about 15 minutes of it, I was asleep in my chair.
You know what? Don't blame you. Seem to fall asleep. The older you get, the earlier to go to sleep. And also, and here's the funny thing: dinner used to be between 7 or 8 o'clock, and it's slowly getting earlier and earlier. We eat our dinner at 4 nowadays.
Looking forward to the 5:30 special from places once I hit that age where I can get it.
Our dinner's usually ready by 4:30, and the reason being is because my wife is a nurse and she works at night, so we have to have everything ready for her to eat and then get ready to go to work. So it's just we're used to that whole 4 o'clock thing. I'm pretty sure if Brian listens to this, he could attest because she's also a night nurse and their schedule's off. You know what? Before we move on with the stream, before we move on with the stream, thank you to all the first responders, and I think the group that gets left out are the nurses because
Amen.
They do the bulk of the work in hospitals. Doctors walk in that room for 2-3 minutes, don't care anything about you. The nurses do the work. They give you the meds, they chart all your stuff, they clean up all your bodily fluids and everything. Yeah. They don't get paid enough, I think.
We went to the Mayo Clinic for Jen. We went 9 times, and some of those stays were a week. And honestly, we'd see the doctor for maybe a half hour a day total. Mm-hmm. But there were 5 different nurses that she'd interact with, from the kind of the nitty gritty technician who's, helping you with every stuff to the head nurse. There were like 4 levels, and they're just working all the time. They never get a break.
Yep, and it's continuity of care. So they'll usually, have the same 2 nurses for, the day shift and the night shift, and you have the same ones. And you had to.
They cried when she left.
They're
like
awesome.
They become your friends.
Exactly, and then they have to move on to the. It's a tough job. I don't think they get paid enough, but so shout out to all the nurses out there, especially. Cheers. And so we got that going on here. So let's talk about guitars, because that's what we are here for. And since we have our guest of honor, Ted of Ted Talks Guitars fame, and I say fame because, dude, your channel is going gangbusters. You got over 2,000 subs already. You hit all the milestones. Everybody loves you. You're just a great man, and you know how to fix guitars on top of it. So we're going to start with you and talk about your learning experience. I know you've been on YouTube for quite a bit now. 2 years? Is it going on 2 years, Ed?
Yeah, a little over 2 years.
Yeah, same here. We all kind of started around the same time, at least me, you, and I know Brian did. And so I would like, and you've been on the show, and you kind of walked through some of the stuff, but this time I'm interested in understanding some of the channels that you learned how to begin your tech work, and just different channels on YouTube that some of our listeners could tune into. I think at one point we talked about Ask Zach, which I think is an awesome guitar channel. He's used to be Brad Paisley's guitar tech, and he's one of Brad Paisley's best friends. So check him out. That's the guy that recommended me those Seymour Duncan La Brea pickups that I installed. And this is going to be a perfect segue into this, to learn how to install those pickups. I watched Dylan Talks Custom, and just that was one of the first videos that popped up. He showed me. It was really quick, really easy. Bada bing, bada boom. Made a video, got the t-shirt, done. So who do you have? What are your favorite channels on YouTube to watch when you're looking, just to fix guitars or just guitar stuff in general, Ted?
Yeah, no, I appreciate the question. So I think most of us who hang out know the story a little bit, but just for anybody that's just dropping in for the first time, I bought a Harley Benton guitar about 2.5 years ago, and it came from Tommen in Germany, and the neck puck was shot. And I had a local tech around town that I used to take guitars to back when I played Epiphones and Fender Strats and stuff like that. He would come to the house, he'd pick it up, he'd go work on it, and he'd come back and he'd say things I didn't understand, like I did this to the pot, I filed the nut. I've said, dude, you're speaking Greek and Hebrew, or to me, man, I don't understand a word you're saying right now, but here's your money, thank you very much. And those guitars played like a dream. So when I got the Harley Benton, I couldn't find that guy around town anymore. So I had a buddy that used to manage a guitar center in Dallas, and he hung a shingle where he was doing tech stuff out of his house, I guess. And schedules just never aligned for me and him to get together. So I started watching YouTube, and since I had a Harley Benton guitar, I searched YouTube for Harley Benton guitar, and I found that to be very interesting. In fact, there's a lot of things, and I don't want to talk a whole lot about algorithms and CEOs and CTRs and all that kind of stuff, but I think there is something too. Sometimes people find a video not because they want to learn how to work on a guitar, but they're into, for example, the Yamaha acoustic vid that I posted not too long ago did really well for my channel. Now I think I'm pushing 700 videos, but the viewership of that is not great. And some of the videos do pretty well. Well, that one just kind of, I didn't expect a Yamaha acoustic guitar to get any hits at all, but that was one of the most, I think in February, or that was probably the highest video count that I had for that. So all that to say, so I was searching for Harley Benton guitars just to kind of get a feel for them. What is this? And somewhere along the line, I don't remember, I'll get to J-Man and 2-Bike Mike in a minute. So there's a cat named Dave. Not Cal's Dave, but Dave's World of Fun Stuff. He's an old gruff rocker, and he does basically the same setup type work on every guitar that comes through his shop. And so I started watching him. And when I say watched him, I kind of laugh because sometimes on Tuesday night, you or maybe Casey, shout out String Pickers, will say to me, hey, we got you onto the big screen in the living room, and I think that's so funny that people watch me in their living room. But
I do the same thing. I do the same thing sometimes.
There you go. So
my wife won't let me put Brian on the big screen though for some reason. I don't know.
Can't imagine why that would be. But so Dave at Dave's World of Fun Stuff, his videos are always like 20, 25 minutes long. They're not very long at all. And I was watching him, dare I use the word religiously? Every day I was watching Dave work on guitars. And it got to the point where everybody in my house knew who Dave was. And I'd put Dave on the big screen of the TV, and they'd come home from work and they'd say, oh, Dave. He became like part of the family, and, I did a Patreon thing with him and all this stuff early on. But he taught me a whole lot about working on guitars. Dave's World of Fun Stuff, and if I was more sophisticated, I'd have links for you.
I'm gonna put them up. I'm gonna look it up and put it up in the chat.
Okay. So, like I said, the thing about Dave, though, and this is really something that, again, we won't talk about guitars and really our community and hang out and have a good time on a Saturday after we've had soft pretzels and Diet Cokes or whatever else it is we're drinking here this morning and enjoying as a tasty morsel. That said, there's a lot of us that talk about videos and the frequencies of videos. So you've probably heard that. Some people would say you're posting too many videos. There's too much content out there. You're flooding the tube.
Right.
I got to a point with Dave where I had exhausted. I know it might sound crazy. I'm a little bit of a habitual person, as you might imagine. So I exhausted Dave's available videos,
right?
Like things that were current, like from the last year. And so I would go back and say, well, what did he do last year? Because he only posts, not sporadically. I'm sure there's a certain day of the week at a certain time. I never found that rhythm. Wasn't sophisticated enough to know it was a rhythm.
You binged
A lot
all that
like-
stuff.
Yeah, man, a lot like when I play guitar, I can't find the rhythm nowhere, Jack. But yeah, I kind of exhausted that, and I would get kind of frustrated that I couldn't find more. I would be like, "Where's Dave? Where's more Dave? I need more Dave." So that led me to look for other channels. So as I learned things from Dave, like fret leveling or tackling fret buzz or string action height or whatever, I would start putting those in the search history. So I found a cat whose name is Victor. Victor is now the Guitar Medic of Canada. Guitar Medic, and it's like _ Canada. And Vic's channel back then was Fret Friends, and he was in the UK. And he's a cool dude, man. And his videos, by contrast with Dave, Vic's vids are all almost an hour long. But what Vic does is he has actual customers. He's an actual luthier. He's an actual professional. So people bring him guitars and pay him to work on the stuff. And so what he does is he films all the work, and he's filming it really for the customer's benefit, but just exposing the world to it, if that makes any sense at all. So I started watching Vic, and then somewhere I was searching maybe Harley Benton or West Creek or something like that, and I found 2-Bike Mike. And candidly, guys, I don't know if I found 2-Bike Mike first or J-Man. I don't know who came first, the chicken or the egg, J-Man or 2-Bike Mike. I'll let you figure out who the egg is and who the chicken is. But so I found 2-Bike Mike, and Mike's videos are really good. He's just a retired cat. He's worked on like 80 guitars and buying budget guitars, and there's kind of this. So then I kind of figured out, there's like a whole kind of thought process that goes something like this. Brand names don't matter. Spending $1,500 on guitars is kind of dumb. You might be able to do that for a couple $100 and do some upgrades or something like that. And then I found J-Man, J-Man's Gear Cave, and 2-Bike Mike. And those guys were staples for me. So in between Dave over Dave's World Fun Stuff, Vic, J-Man, 2-Bike Mike, I did come across Dylan at Dylan Talks Tone. I learned a whole lot from him about wiring a Telecaster control panel. In fact, there's one of his videos that I've gone back to and watched probably 4 or 5 times over the past couple of years. So he's good. What I learned from Ask Zach, say that 3 times fast, you get in trouble. Zach taught one day what he was talking about, and he put a whole wiring diagram and everything. I haven't done it to this guitar yet, but he showed how you can bypass the tone pot.
Can we pause 1 second, Ted? Because there's a lot of echo on yours.
It's probably me. Okay. What do I do?
I don't know.
How do I fix it?
So, is it for the people that are in the chat? Do I echo? Jeremy, can you say echo?
I muted my mic to make sure it wasn't me. Echo. Am I echoing?
2 Teds in a microphone. It's where it's at. I don't know. I don't know what to do about that, man. What is going on?
Okay, let me. I guess I can take my. Let me take my audio interface out of the equation.
Okay,
I'm sorry, guys.
No, it's fine. Man. No, I was kind of gathering the links as you were going along there, and I don't know if I put. So I'll kind of riff around here. I do want to acknowledge one person in the chat. It's 2 Yards. So 2 Yards, I could see you in the chat now. I don't know what they're doing.
They're saying I'm echoing too. Hold on.
Okay, I don't echo.
How about me? Am I echoing now? Am I echoing now? Am I echoing now? Am I echoing now?
Jeremy and Ted are echoing.
I'm still echoing? I switched mics and everything.
So if it's Jeremy and Ted, if it's also me, then it has to be something with the way that you have. Jeremy, it's not your headphones. It has nothing to do with headphones. You don't need to switch to headphones.
No. I'm changing one of the outputs on my computer. I just had too much stuff running.
Yeah, so it's none of the three of us because I can hear myself echoing too. So it's 100% in OBS.
OBS. Okay.
Yeah, it's 100% in OBS. So you've got something that is, since you're solo, remember something is playing us twice. You're solo, so you're muted in the scene that is coming from Video Ninja, which is why you're not echoing also.
All
So
right.
it's got to be something that's creating the scene twice, is what I'm saying.
Guitar Bob says you're good, Ubie. All right.
I could hear myself echo.
All right. Guitar.
I literally could hear I have your stream up. I can hear myself.
Can anybody hear Ted or Ubie talk now? Because I muted something in OBS. Can you hear me talk?
Okay, so all three of us need to talk now.
Okay, testing.
Okay, Sean says fix
Ted,
it.
let's hear you.
Test 1 2. Test 1 2. Testing. I'm too sexy for my tush.
Did you hear
Too
it?
sexy
Infringement.
for my tush.
Ubie is fine, and you are too. Okay. Ubie's no longer echoing.
Yeah, okay. Whatever you muted was the one that was duplicating us. We're good.
Ted, mic check. Did you hear Ted
Mic
say?
check.
Yeah,
Jeremy's fine. Okay, cool. So
that's fine.
So,
Good.
Ubi, real quick, I was doing an output through my monitor output through my laptop, and I was getting more fuzz, so I just switched it to the direct output from my mic. That's all I did. I just
Okay.
switched the output.
you know, some
source.
people buy
no, I
pedals
just-
for fuzz.
I just didn't want you to switch to headphones because I know that it makes it much
All right.
more difficult for you. So
You know,
that's not at
I've
all
got them in
nostalgic.
today. I went with the in-ears to start with. I just
Okay.
adjusted the volume.
So yeah, so
Ted,
we were talking
take it
about
away
Dylan
again, buddy.
Talks Tone, and ask Zach because I think where you left off, because that's where you referenced his video for wiring diagrams for Telecasters, right?
Yeah, that's right. So one of the things that I learned on Ask Zach is, and he even put a diagram in the video that I watched, but he showed you how to take how to bypass the tone for the neck pup. I mean, who would put a tone knob on a neck pup, right? So, well, some people do, whatever. But all that's to say, that's what he did. And so he had like a whole little diagram and all that. So I actually did that to, what did I do that to? I did that to the Firefly Relic.
Tone knob on my neck pickup? What are you talking about?
No, I'm talking about you would probably never need to make the tone pot, you know, like more bright, right?
Right.
I mean, it's anyway, player preference, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so he talked about how to wire that up, and so that's what I did with him. So he mostly talks about tellies, a lot about tellies, of course, and the history of tellies and books that he's read about tellies. But he does lean into some technical things from time to time. These days, I'm not. By way of people who work, I mean, outside of the pit crew. I mean, of course, I already mentioned J-Man. You got BCG, 5150. You got Chris. You got Tone Yeager. You got Brant, of course. You got Smoke Eater Guitars. I watch String Pickers. I've watched BBM do some stuff. So I watch our community videos, you know, that everybody's doing out here. And yeah, man. So that's really about it by way of techie stuff. I have watched, what's Brad's name? That guy that's a really good painter, Brad on Cove. You guys know who that is?
Never heard of him.
Doesn't sound familiar.
Yeah. Sorry. I can never pronounce
What
his
does he
name
paint? Does he
because-
paint guitars or just other stuff, non-guitar related?
Mostly guitars,
Oh, cool.
but he's like a professional, like painter extraordinaire. So he does everything from, you know, all different kind of finishes. And so anytime I finish a guitar, I might check with him. Now, the frustrating thing is, Two Bike Mike used to say to me all the time, he used to say, Ted, just watch the video I sent you of Brad doing it. I kept saying to Mike, look, just because I can watch that joker do it, don't mean I can do what he does.
That's the way I feel whenever I watch your videos. So
Well, that's very kind and gracious. But Uh, yeah, it's so anyway. So, but he's a cool cat, and Brad on Cove on Cave.
Let me see if I can find them.
Man Cave. No, that's J Man. I'm sure I can find it. While somebody, if we, when we get to another topic and somebody talks, I'll look for it and I'll throw it in the chat for everybody.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm probably talking too
No, you're
much,
not.
man.
This is why we had you here. And I think I just saw Sean, not just saw, but Sean did comment that Zach is the man. And he is. And I'm not sure how I found his channel. You watch his stuff. The way this guy plays guitar, because he starts off doing some simple little thing. He plays guitar super, like, how do I explain it? He's very kind of slow and very methodical. Let me put it that way. He's methodical with the way he plays, and it's excellent. Because sometimes I think what we need to do as guitar players is slow the hell down and think about what you're doing and make sure that your technique is right when you play. And that's exactly what he does. He's an awesome player, awesome tech. I mean, obviously, he works with Zach. Or Zach works with Brad Paisley, and he set up a lot of Brad Paisley's guitars. So, guy knows what he's doing. And here's the cool thing about YouTube. You see all these, like, famous, quote unquote famous people, famous to us. Some of them are famous to us. Some of them are actually famous. And if they have a channel and if you try to talk to them, 9 times out of 10 they'll interact right back with you and comment right back to you. There's this guy. His name is Guitar Friend Tim. He won a Grammy for a song that he wrote with Jason Mraz, and Jason Mraz sang it, and he wrote a Grammy as a songwriter. And so I just shoot him a message on YouTube and make a comment and told him the story of how I heard that song. I was like, dude, that's awesome. And he just responds back. And I was like, oh, this Grammy Award winning artist, is willing to talk to anybody. So it's a wonderful platform in that way. And like you mentioned with the pit crew, you're meeting all these people and you are making friends, and that's the whole point of it. You say that your streams on Tuesdays are one of the best parts of your week, right, Ted? Just talking to the crew and everybody
That's
that
right.
joins it. So
Yeah, no, that's absolutely right. So I found Brad's channel. I put it in the chat. I still can't pronounce it. Brad and Gove. And then there's another channel, Guitar Niche. His videos are really pretty short in general. He does some really good work. Yeah, man. So those are folks I would turn anybody on to that's looking for, techie type stuff if you're into that. And there's a host of others, Keith, that I'm
yeah, I
just not
mean,
prepared off the cuff to go
that's
through.
perfectly fine. I mean, everybody has their own thing. I lean towards less of the tech stuff. I guess most of the tech stuff that I watch is isolated to you guys, because I look at that stuff and I don't want to attempt it for fear of messing something up. And
Yep.
and I just leave that to the pros. I'm the guy that's willing to just be like, hey, fix this, and hopefully you don't charge me up the wazoo for it. Luckily, I found a good guitar tech that's right around the corner from me. He's been doing it for like 30, 40 years, closer to 30 years, and he doesn't charge that much. So it's good to have a local person to talk to for that stuff.
Yeah, I think so always. And to your point, it's really funny to me. Not funny, but it's interesting to me. Uh, Coach Juliet, Jeremy got me connected to Coach Juliet, and she interviewed me for her channel. And she said, I watch your videos and I dig it. I don't care anything about guitars. I don't even
Yep.
have a guitar. I played like classical piano or something, or
Yeah.
cello or something back in the whenever. And I do think there's something about that, because I made a video last night. It won't post for a few days, but in that video, I said to people who were watching, some of you are watching this, and that's all you're doing. You're watching.
Mm-hmm.
You're watching me and other channels work on guitars, work on guitars. You have guitars. You'd love to work on your own gear, but you haven't yet crossed that threshold of picking up a screwdriver or a hacksaw or an implement of destruction, or some destruction, as Sparky would say,
Or Dremel.
or a Dremel or anything like that. And I encourage folks, to move beyond watching to doing,
Right.
Now, particularly now in the context of it, okay, major spoiler alert. I bought 4 guitars yesterday. This is one of them. And I don't even think that's a brand. I think that's somebody's initials, JAM. I bought this guitar for $25 yesterday for one reason, so I can learn how to do some stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the whole thing. So I think there was a time when I can't tell you how many times I watched J-Man and Two Bike Mike and Dave and Vic do a fret leveling job before I ever did one. I mean, I was probably 30 videos in before I thought, well, let me get some sandpaper and unfortunately, a level or a little 6-inch file. Let me just order the cheapest. It's me.
Yeah.
I bought the cheapest stuff I could find, which is, please, don't follow my example on that deal. But there's a learning curve to it, and the learning curve, it's not a technical learning curve. It's courage is not the right word. That sounds demeaning, because I don't mean that. I would never demean anybody like that. Confidence. Thank you, Ube. Yep. Ube, the wordsmith. I appreciate you, brother. That is absolutely right.
He is a wordsmith.
But that was my experience too.
Author of Get Your Balls Out.
Yeah, there you go. When I got the Harley Benton, the neck pickup was shot. Okay. All I needed to do was order a cheap pickup and solder 2 wires. And I had to work up the muster to do that. You know what I mean? I mean, I had to I had to buy a solder. Yeah. And I had to figure out, well, what kind of solder do you buy? Then I had to figure out how hot.
Keith understands this experience intimately.
I saw Keith swap out pups on his channel. I surely did.
That was I'm not wanting to pay somebody to do it because I didn't have money to pay somebody to install pickups, especially after you're spending over $100 for a set of pickups. It's like, I'll just do this by myself. Luckily, it worked.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think there's a threshold there. There's a confidence threshold. There's maybe it's a foolishness threshold. I mean, anybody who hangs out with me, you guys have seen me take on some stuff I was not ready to do.
Sometimes you just got to throw caution to the wind and go for it.
Yeah.
And just understand. I guess who was it that told you? It was Chris, BCG Chris. It's just a hunk of wood with strings on it or something, right? What are you gonna do?
And oh my goodness, I left out Sean over at Scar My Guitar.
Right.
Now I think everybody knows who Sean is, but I watched him work on guitars as well.
Right.
Back in the day, I was watching him pretty regularly as well, and I learned a lot from him along the way. And one of the things that he kept saying and keeps saying, I think to this day, is encourages people to get a kit and put it together and try building a guitar and just do something.
Yeah.
And I think there's some truth to that. And the reality is much of life is like that. It's a confidence hurdle.
Mm-hmm.
You could think about it. We've got a lot of people in our community who are content creators, have channels is what I mean. And, we fret about the kind of videos we're going to make or getting started or, how we talk or what our lighting is and all of these kinds of things. And there's a technical side to almost everything in life. And then there's a practitioner side. And the learning comes from doing. The learning doesn't come necessarily from reading. It's the distinction between head knowledge and street smarts, if I can use that analogy. Oob, tell me if that broke down, brother. Is that a fair analogy?
No, that works.
You hear what I'm saying?
Yeah, we call it book smart and world dumb, but yes.
Well, there you go. That works too.
That's hilarious.
So now the challenge becomes what I did wrong, in my opinion, which is the only opinion I can have. Isn't that funny how we say, in my opinion, like I could have somebody else's opinion?
In your opinion, I'm wrong.
That's right. In your opinion, I'm great, But the thing that I did wrong back when I was watching these channels early on, And the reason why, and I know I frustrate a lot of people because I talk about the tools and I put links and I put affiliate links. You know, if you go to, if you're watching a video and I show you whatever it is, a can of paint, and there's a link and it's an affiliate link. If you buy that paint, I get like a whole,
Right.
half a penny from Amazon and make bukus of money off you. Because that's why I'm doing YouTube, to make millions of dollars, clearly. Sound a little snarky on a Saturday morning, didn't it, Jeremy? But the point of what I'm saying is the reason that I do that, when I watch Dave and I watch J-Man and I watch Two Bike Mike, none of those guys are like, hey, this is where you buy a soldering iron, or this is the kind of soldering, whatever they call that. What do they call solder? Is it solder wire, or we just call it solder?
Just
Isn't it a
solder,
little-
yeah.
Flux or flax or something like that.
Yeah, there you go.
Flux.
So,
Something
yeah,
like that.
I mean, they don't really get into that. The assumption is, and I'm not saying they're wrong for doing it this way, but their assumption is, where the hardware store is,
Go find
or
it.
you've got a drill, or you've got a spindle sander already, or you've got paint brushes, or you've got wax on, wax off,
Yeah.
materials. And I didn't have any of that. So I would watch them, man. I would like freeze frame it and blow it up. I'm trying to read the name on the fret end file, if this makes any sense. Now, to Dave's credit, Dave over at Dave's World Fun Stuff, Dave doesn't speak very highly of StewMac, so I picked up on that. I got kind of a StewMac bias from Dave, which I've since repented of to some extent, although Stewie notwithstanding. All that to say, so he would talk, the pickup height gauge, Keith, that I shared with you, I got that from Dave.
Right.
He's the first person that ever used that, and I saw it, and he talked about it, and I went to Solo Music and I found it. Go ahead, Keith. I
mean,
mean to interrupt you.
I think to further your point, I mean, you see videos of people using these tools and all that, and yeah, it does suck if they don't mention it, because you want to use what they're using. Because if they're getting the job done correctly, and they're using that tool in their hands, and the only missing component on your end is the tool, because you have hands. I mean, obviously there's technique that goes into using the tools, but you want to have a starting point, and it's a disservice not to mention the stuff that you're using. But I'm not saying that as a knock or anything on them, because there's tons of things I put in my videos where I just don't even think about it, and when I'm done with the video, I was like, oh, I should have said this, I should have said that. But providing those links, and nobody should get mad at affiliate links, but providing affiliate links is a great way to help anybody out that's watching your channel. It's like, what tools? Look at a chisel, for example. If for acoustic guitars, what size chisel is that? Did they mention the size? Did they mention the brand? Do they have a sharpener for it? All these little things come into play, and it is beneficial to have those links on the channel. And to kind of segue into a kind of different thing, what you were talking about before with that lady that I forget the name, that Jeremy brought you onto, that you did the interview
Coach
for.
Juliet.
Yeah, Coach Juliet. She watches your videos, and she doesn't care, but she's not a guitar person. She's a piano person, but she likes to watch your videos. I got the same thing. I'm gonna put the link in the channel. This guy named Tuford, and I think have you heard of him, Ted? I think I sent you a link. The link is in the channel. He does guitar work. He's a guitar tech. He's like a Canadian-based guitar guy, and I got onto his channel because I was watching Adam Savage from Mythbusters. He has his own channel called Tested. I'm not sure if anybody is familiar with his channel, but it's really cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and he mentions that he likes to watch that guy Tuford, and he was like, because somebody asked him, what YouTube channels do you watch, Adam? Because he does all these Q&A things, and he said, this guy Tuford, I love to watch his stuff. He's like, I don't play guitar, I don't do anything with guitars, but he figures out how to fix everything on a guitar, and he works mostly on acoustic guitars, which is going to segue to you, Jeremy, because I want you to talk about that in a second with your Fender, because you finally got it back. But Tuford does amazing things with guitars. He takes these vintage Martins that probably worth tens of thousands of dollars and fixes them up. Caved in tops, bellied up tops, refretting, and all that kind of stuff.
I have a bellied in top.
Well, I think. So, do you have a? Is that your winter belly or your summer belly? I think
Why don't you shut up? No,
Wow.
it's just I've been retaining water for like 10 years.
I
I don't
that
give.
a-
I don't. I
I
keep
got to
everything.
tell you, it's nice that I have offloaded some of my my antagonism against Keith over to Jeremy, so I don't have to do quite as much on the podcast now.
I'm in my
I just-
10th trimester.
Oh,
I
God.
just find it amazing every time I come on the show. There's a fight. I
wouldn't-
guess I bring it out.
It
I
wouldn't
don't
be
know.
Just stay
good.
for the kids.
It wouldn't be good if everybody agreed on everything. That's why I have Ubie on
I only have fights with people I like. I really do.
There you go.
to give the wrong
So-
opinion. Yeah, go ahead, Ted.
No, I'll just finish my little jaunt down Toolville for a
Yeah.
minute. So I just find it very helpful because that's what I did. I scoured their videos trying to identify tools, and then I would go to the Zon, and even if I didn't know what they were called, and I'm not being insensitive or unkind to myself, I didn't know what the proper terminology was. I just looked at guitar tools and I'm looking for the handle. Is it the same color? Does
Right.
it look the same? Now, the mistake that I made, and I do want to state this just to help people out, is I bought everything I saw them using initially. Now, a cheaper version of it, okay? But I bought anything that they were using, whether I knew how to use it or not. I just thought, okay, you're going to do guitar work now? Okay, let's get all the tools we need. And so there's a lot of tools over on my bench that I never used that I bought because I saw one of these channels using the tool and they really liked it. So I think that there are tools that you need. I think that a lot of what we do, you could do with hardware or Walmart tools, even gauges, for string height or whatever.
Yeah.
You could probably just get gauges. I'm just not a math guy and don't know decimals and all that stuff. So I needed the Music Nomad, cheat sheets
Yeah.
for the work that I did. And I still rely on those, and truthfully. So I would just say, as a word of kind of encouragement, maybe / caution, don't go out and buy all the tools in the world just because you see me or anybody else using these tools. But if you're interested in a tool that I'm using,
Click his link.
I try to put a link in there. And even before I had an Amazon affiliate status, I put Amazon, just straight up Amazon links in my
Right.
old videos, or Solo Music, or whoever it is. So anyway, word to the wise, or somewhat wise, about tool purchasing power. So
Yeah.
thanks for letting me rant about that.
No, it's one of those things. I mean, we all love, things that tools. It's though, you mentioned the thing. It's the right tool for the right job type of deal. Like you have to have the right tool for the right job. This is just a real quick analogy. I had to install a kitchen faucet and I couldn't get the wrench to take everything out. Lo and behold, there's this thing called a Basin wrench. I spent hours trying to, unscrew something, and then I went to Lowe's and I'm like, I can't freaking figure out how to do it. And they're like, you need this Basin wrench. I bought it for like $5. Boop. Pops right out. Right tool for the right job. Then you got your cheap tools versus good tools, but we're all guilty of buying the cheap Harbor Freight and buying the cheapest thing and trying it out. And then
Love Harbor Freight.
Harbor Freight's awesome.
I love Harbor Freight too.
It's awesome. And speaking of Harbor Freight, I got a drill press from them to do something that's not guitar related. I want to see you, Ted, refret a guitar.
Okay.
Have you done that yet?
No, I have not.
I think that's like huge. If you know how to do something like that or a neck
I'll send you
reset,
one to do it, Ted. I got one that I would like to refret.
Okay.
I mean,
That's what we'll do.
that would be awesome because
Yep. I know Aaron did one to his StewMag kit. I've watched BCG 5150 do it. Watched Sparky do it. So I'm at that point where I've watched people do it. Now again, that doesn't mean I can do
are
it.
they using a drill press to push it down?
It's a mix of ideas.
Everybody
there.
has their
So
own
I don't
way.
know how Aaron did it. I don't think he actually filmed that part of it, but I can reach out to him and ask him. I don't know if he's in the chat or not. I kind of lost touch of the chat when I
Right.
started running my stories, but I think there's something to having the right tools and knowing what you need, and there's just things that you don't know when you're starting out. Like you didn't know that was a special wrench for that.
Yeah.
So the last encouragement I would give, once you find a tool that works for you, stop looking.
Yeah.
Stop comparing. Don't compare yourself to anything that I use. If you've got a fret end file that works for you, rock that fret end file, man.
It's good advice.
Don't
Yeah.
yeah, don't fall into comparison, man. Once you decide you want to drive a Chevy, drive that Chevy, man. Quit looking at the Fords when they drive by looking all sexy like.
I mean, those are excellent points. That's
In
awesome.
what
Like,
in whatever world a Ford would be sexy, which is probably, not existent, but
so you're not a Ford fan? Is that what you're saying?
Mustangs.
I'm not much of a Ford guy.
Oh.
Mustangs are sexy, but that's about the limit on a Ford.
Yeah, but those are classics, though. But I mean, we could do car talk eventually. But
No, I'm teasing. I don't care one
I have no dog in that fight.
iota.
I drive a Volkswagen, a gigantic Volkswagen Atlas, so I don't care.
We have
Yeah,
we have driven Toyotas, my wife and I, for
right.
32 years. So
They
I don't look
last
at
forever.
anything else.
The Toyotas
Yeah,
last forever. Subarus last forever. Hondas last forever. Kias get
Yeah.
broken into.
Cellulite lasts forever.
Jeremy, so let's talk about your. I'm sorry. Let's talk about your Fender, and then I want to get into some guitar news. Because this
Yeah.
is the Fender that it had to go into surgery or something like that, and yet you live in.
Yes. This was the heartbreak. So if you guys remember in December, the top on this started to give. It needed some help. That was why I ended up getting the Epiphone guitar. I had to raise some money to do that. So this went into the shop and there was a bulge. And with acoustic guitars, like with an electric guitar, there's some fiddling I'm comfortable with. But on an acoustic, especially this, they don't even make this model anymore. It's solid rosewood back and sides, solid spruce top, ebony fretboard, ebony tuning pegs, mahogany neck, like all hardwoods. It was modeled to go after the tailor market as an
Right.
import. And the last price on this new was $1,300. And I couldn't replace it even if they did still make these. And it was one where I was no longer comfortable. And when I would tune the pegs up, the top would start bulging. So they took care of that, but the strings were fretting out, and I assumed it was a massive issue. Well, what I found out was in Michigan, the weather is so harsh in terms of humidity shifts.
Right.
So I took this to a luthier who takes care of cellos with the Detroit Violin Company. And what I found out was the height of the end of your fretboard needs to be the same off the top of the guitar as your saddle. All right. I guess I never knew that, guys. I just honestly didn't. And this one was about a millimeter off. And so when I was playing the guitars, the strings were fretting out, just buzzing out. And now it's working again, right? So what he had told me is there wasn't as much issues as it did need to be glued underneath. One of the beams had pulled off of the top, so you did have to fix that. But he said in Michigan, the top of the guitar is going to pull back during the winter. So he cut me a second saddle. This is the original saddle. He cut me one that's about a millimeter higher and swapped that in. So in the summer, once the action starts to feel uncomfortable, I swap back to the original saddle and go. And that was something I'd never heard of, that he has clientele that have a summer and a winter saddle piece for their instruments.
That makes 100% sense, because in the world of acoustic guitars, it's not nearly as modular and adjustable as an electric guitar. So you could only really adjust action by saddle height, and being able to swap them out is a brilliant idea. Kudos to that guy.
And what was awesome is I took the Rafferty in too because that was also fretting out, and I leveled it and I did everything, and it still wasn't working. He didn't charge me for this, but he had said because this has kind of an Art Deco feel, he felt there was a design flaw that elevated this almost 2 millimeters higher than the bridge
Yeah.
piece. So he wouldn't even touch it. But I went on Amazon and found these. It's a set of 3 brass inserts. And normally I would use a piece of a credit card, honestly, for a bridge shim. But these are actually measured out where you get a 0.5 millimeter, a 1 millimeter, and a 2 millimeter. So each one is a different size. And you can just slide it right under the saddle and adjust that on the fly.
Yeah.
And it's like an $8 3-pack, and it fixed it right away.
That neck angle that you're talking about there is it looks like a newer guitar, but that usually happens to older guitars and requires a neck reset, and those things could get really expensive quick. And the reason I mentioned that is because that guy Tuford that I mentioned, I think I put his channel in the chat, does neck resets. And a neck reset on a nice guitar like a Martin or any other acoustic, it's an acoustic guitar thing. You have to drill holes directly into the fingerboard, right into this section.
It's terrifying to me, honestly.
Right in there. And then you get to drill holes right through the fingerboard. And then what he does is he has these styrofoam cutters. It's basically, it heats up. It's like a pencil or a pen. And it's plugged in and electricity flows through it. And then he sticks them in those holes right where the bridge meets the fingerboard. And it melts the glue. So you could pull the neck out, and then you do sanding and stuff like that. And this is why I love that channel, because the Tuford channel, because the guy does all that kind of stuff. And one of the luthiers that I was originally taking my guitars to here in Kansas City bought that styrofoam cutter to do neck resets himself. You know, just to your point, Ed, about tools, finding the right tool to do the right job.
Well,
but yeah, go ahead.
And what I really didn't count on, because I'm playing acoustic all the time now. I had been primarily electric until I started doing the coffee shop stream. And when an acoustic guitar goes wrong or something changes, it's again, there's fewer adjustable pieces.
Right.
So finding out there are common issues, and Chris from BCG just said they make these in bone as well. But if you're out there, there is a reason to actually buy a measured one of these, because so many of us want to just do like the shaved piece of plastic on an old credit card, and that's honestly got a place. But if you need to really dial in your action, and Ubie, I'm sure you've dealt with this too, that 0.5 millimeter, you feel it. I don't know how to explain it, but you feel it.
Yeah.
So having just this precise way, like I was at the 1 millimeter, I swapped down to the 0.5 millimeter because the weather's already changed again here. And now I know, I was checking the truss rod, I was still having the problem. There's this other piece where the acoustic guitar is like this living, breathing instrument, and the weather changes. You can control some of it with the humidifiers, but it changes so much more than my electrics do throughout the season.
And that moral of the story, and any kind of good guitar tech will tell you, humidity is an issue. I buy these for my acoustic guitars. These are, I think, D'Addario makes these. They're just humidipacks.
Can you throw the link to those in the? Those are actually very handy. Eventually, maybe in the description.
I'll get it.
Okay, just D'Addario humidipacks. You throw those in your case and with the guitar, and you could leave them in it. The technology is supposed to keep it humid during the dry times and keep it drier during the higher humidity times of the year. So it works both ways. You could never over humidify, and you can never take too much humidity out of the guitar. I keep the D28 in basically the Martin guitars in their cases all the time. It sucks, but I'm not. They say you should keep your guitar so you could just grab it and play it. Blah blah blah. I agree with that, but not with these guitars.
Ubie, how did you do that fast? Good grief!
So I know we're coming up on an hour, but I have a new segment that I would like to do. And I am going to require everybody.
I do it that fast because, unlike Keith, I'm not wrong.
I need a little news segment intro music. You know how the news wire. Here's the news, the latest news in guitars. Thank you. So I just typed in guitar news in the chat, and this is what popped up. So let's just kind of go through, a couple of the top headlines. This is just some stupid. Have you ever? That's a good topic for a future show. But here's an interesting one that I saw here. Following the record-breaking sale, Jerry Garcia's Tiger, which I believe that's his acoustic guitar. I'm not a Grateful Dead fan, or maybe I'm really not. I don't know that much of their catalog. So more of his guitar gear is going up for auction, which is an interesting point here, because I think, what's his name? David Gilmour, the greatest guitarist of all time, according to 2 Yards, his black Strat went for a record fairly recently. I forget.
Yeah, it went for more than Clapton's.
Yeah, it's in the 15 million error, kind of space.
Because didn't Blackie go for $1 million? Didn't Clapton's go for 1.1, 1.5 to Guitar Center or something like that?
I don't know. Oh yeah, that thing does live in Guitar Center. So I don't know. These things are getting ridiculous, and obviously nobody's gonna play these guitars. They're gonna get them and hang them up somewhere. In my opinion, those kind of guitars like that, it's fine to go into a personal collection, but damn, just put it up in a museum for somebody to look at, and appreciate.
Blackie didn't even break $1 million. It went for $959K. So Gilmour beat it by 15 times.
Please fact check me, but I think that the Gilmour one was ridiculous. It might have been that expensive. And then we have, what is this? This guitarist played Les Paul's #1 guitar at Les Paul's recording studio. Interesting about Les Paul.
$4 million.
Okay, I was off the mark,
million.
but that's still a ridiculous number.
4 times Clapton.
So, Les Paul, I'm not sure if you guys...
Which is how much better than he is from Clapton, so that's fair.
Shots fired.
Love Ubie. Oh, I just want to cuddle him.
There's one thing to say about Clapton. He is a very versatile guitar player, and he's also a good singer. So,
I love his voice.
He as long as he can play both kinds, both country and western, then he is very versatile.
I went down to the crossroads.
Yeah, I mean, blues, rock, ballads, acoustic stuff, and he just seems to change it. It's Eric Clapton. What can you say? I think here's my hot take. Every guitarist after Jimi Hendrix, or during the Jimi Hendrix era, is just just stop, drop your guitars. It just made them obsolete, including Eric Clapton. But this story about Les Paul is not what I want to go into, but I'm curious if any of you guys watched that JHS video where what's his name? Josh Scott? Is that his name? Scott? Josh from JHS Pedals put out a video about Les Paul and how he kind of revolutionized the whole multi-track recording thing. If you haven't seen that video, I would really suggest you check it out. It's basically...
We need to do a watch along of Chasing Sound. I've got the DVD where it shows how he created his version of multi-tracking.
Les Paul?
I watch it every year. It's awesome.
Yeah, I think maybe we need to do that because it's freaking phenomenal, and it blew people's minds back in the day. There was no such thing as everybody played music live, and that's how you recorded everything, live in one room. But he did the whole multi-tracking thing, and that classic multi-tracking sound. It's brilliant that he was a man that I think we had that whole topic of geniuses, music geniuses, and guitar geniuses. I don't know who mentioned it. I think it was you, maybe, that mentioned Les Paul should be up there. I agree. Just the innovations that he did. Here's one. So we're talking about old people. So Keith Richards opens up on how age and arthritis has changed his approach to playing. So Jeremy, pretty soon.
The biggest question I have about that entire article there is, Keith Richards is still alive?
Right. He makes the Crypt Keeper look like a skin commercial.
Wow.
like an Oil of Olay commercial.
You know, it
But
just
I will
reminds
say,
me.
Ted, you notice that he's playing a telly there.
Of course.
It's dragging on
plays
the
it-
ground, but he's playing it.
and he tunes it down and takes off that low E string. That's how he plays it. He just takes the low E string off of his guitar. But it just reminds me of these stories where you look in the news and you see, you know, this so and so lady just celebrated her 107th birthday, and people ask her, "What's your secret?" It's like, "Well, I drink a 6-pack of Budweisers every day, and I've been doing that for the past 95
George
years."
Burns lived to like 104 or whatever.
What is your secret for long life? I don't care about death.
That's what
That's
it
the
is.
secret to long life.
Keith Richards, how old is he? Is he his 80s? Yeah, it'll probably say in this article, but
I don't
Well, some
have
of
a
his
slight
organs are
rule to
relatively
figure out
young.
how old he is.
he's
so.
82 years old. Does he look 82?
And his blood's brand new.
It's constantly getting transfusions.
Yeah. Oh God, I'm sorry. That was pretty
If
poor
you
taste.
needed
I
a kidney,
apologize.
would you take Keith Richards? That's the big question.
To use for
No.
what? If I wanted to
No, but I
water-
would take Keith Richards' kidney and grind it up and sell it as a drug, because that's where all the drugs from the entire 60s exist
They
now.
filtered through his
Wow.
kidneys.
His daughter admitted she wants to utilize his ashes when he's gone. Like she did some interview and said that probably the THC content is pretty potent.
I think, speaking of that, I think it was Kiss. It was either a guitar or comic books or something like that, where they got one of their blood and they mixed it in with the paint dye and then they painted guitars.
Steve Vai did it on a guitar on the DNA gem. He put his blood in the paint.
Oh,
Well, I mean, does that sound
Yummy.
gross to you? It sounds gross to me.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know.
I've got the hepatitis C and drop D. Yes, it's
We're playing this song in the key of hepatitis C.
man, you have
Hep C and drop
you have the setup for a joke there. I play and drop hepatitis C is what is the actual joke.
drop Hep C. Oh gosh.
Hep B free, Hep C. Oh my goodness. All right. Well, that about does it. I mean, we could end on that note.
That's an ender.
We could end on that note.
So in the broadcast industry, we literally call that an ender. That's an ender.
Okay, there we go. Ubie's schooling us on broadcast. So before we go, Ted, what do you got coming up this week for us?
Oh, not prepared to shill.
I mean, you just bought
about
4
anything.
guitars today, so
Well, yeah. We got videos coming up. We got a live Tuesday night, and got the big finale, Big Tex Tuesday night. That'll be fun, and yeah, just videos, just me doing my thing.
all right. Well,
Nothing fancy.
so and Jeremy, what about you? You had your coffee shop yesterday. What's coming up with you?
My Sunday morning stream starts at 10:15 now. So I
Eastern?
do that for about an hour. And I am starting to record a bunch of songs. I just released my cover of Aha's Take on Me. If people haven't seen that, go check it out. It's doing real well. And basically my Friday and my Sunday stream, and then I do have some gear reviews coming up, but I don't know what.
That's cool. And you did have some sponsored stuff, and I didn't see CD Nelson in the chat, but I would highly recommend people start checking his out. A little, everybody that watches this, but you know what? I got a new subscriber from the podcast, like the last one, so there are new people watching this. So, CD Nelson, 87, I think is the name of the channel. He's getting a lot of sponsored content too, so I would highly suggest checking him out. Hi, Chris, if you do watch this. And I do want to acknowledge that we do have Mini Guitar Society and BCG in the chat as well. I didn't catch on to them. And 2 Yards, I do see you. I don't know what the issue is, why I can't see you, but Ubie, things are going to be hectic for you in these next few weeks. So what can people expect from the Ubie in the immediate future, if anything?
Yeah, so Monday night we will have some sort of a stream. I cannot guarantee it is going to be the normal stream. But we will absolutely continue our Monday night stream for sure. It will be from a hotel, so I may not have everything set up. It might literally just be me sitting and talking for 2 hours, which may be the most boring stream ever on the entirety of the internet.
And you're not going to have, are you going to have a
Tuesday
computer
night,
for marbles or?
So I have my computer, but the key is getting everything set up, getting good enough internet to be able to stream something high motion. Because the more motion you have, the more it affects your bandwidth. So marbles is one of those time periods where I really see the bandwidth being affected. But we're streaming for sure Monday night. Even if I have to pull the cell phone up and it's just my ugly face right up in front of you for 2 hours, it's going to happen. Tuesday night, we will continue to do Tech Talk. That's a half hour. I don't have to worry about guitars and stuff on that one. Wednesdays and Fridays, obviously, are going to be out because I will literally be, physically at work at the time period. So I think I'm going to do a Saturday stream later in the day that doesn't conflict with this one, or maybe earlier. I don't know, one of the two. To make up for those 2 hours we're losing on the week. My goal is to figure out how to take those 2 hour streams and put them back into streaming. I want to stream the same. I've got the right amount of streams for what I feel comfortable with. So it's just going to be a time shift issue. But Monday, Tuesday, we'll stay for sure, and then we'll wing the rest of it.
All right. I mean, if anybody's interested in 2 hour streams or 3 or 4 or 5 or 10,000 hour streams, hit up Brian at Searching for Tone. He's really good at the very lengthy streams. Ted, you do a really good job. I love your length of streams. That sounds really horrible. Somebody cut that.
Thank you for adding of streams to the end of that. That was an awkward pause you put in that statement there. I was really worried.
I love your length of streams. What is it, 45 minutes? You start at 7:15? No, you start at 7:30 to 8:15. Yeah.
Yeah, 7:30 to 8:10, and with the technical difficulties, they're all like 30 minutes. So,
it just gives more people a chance to get pretzels.
Ted, but I had a half stream the other day because of technical difficulties.
It's crazy, right?
You got to have a good, powerful stream with good bandwidth. That's just the way it works sometimes. So
the flow is the most important part.
Yeah, you have to have good flow, and it keeps the kidneys, good streams, get the flow through, filter, all that good stuff. As far as
Brian's got an interesting idea, Ubie.
I'll stop by it,
tagging on to his Tuesday stream.
We've floated that idea out there, and I might take him up on it. It's a possibility.
I kind of love that. That'd be a great jump.
Oh, he's stealing my co-host. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I suggest that he moves to what is this Santa Cruz and get a co-host.
And have a rotating show of
dirty.
I do have a premiere tomorrow if anybody's interested. If not, whatever, catch the replay. The last one seemed to do good. It was on Neil Young, so check that one out if you haven't. Other than that, 2 weeks, hopefully we will have Ubie. If he is not able to join us here in 2 weeks, hopefully we will have Jeremy. I'm pretty sure we'll have Jeremy. Yeah, and we'll figure out more guests. Ted, it's always wonderful to have you on the stream. Thank you so much for joining us, man, and taking the time out of your Saturday. And that goes the same with you too, Ubie, and you too, Jeremy. With that, I bid everybody farewell. Have fun this weekend. Stay safe, and we will talk to you guys in the next stream.
See you guys.
Keith is wrong.
Right.